So I'm going to be talking about how to become a Bash scripting ninja. So I'm actually curious. This isn't one of those attempts to get the audience involved. How many people have actually written a Bash script before? All right, cool. So Bash scripts are really powerful, and they I mean, I know people like to write dry code, but it also helps to write dry terminal commands. So you don't have to repeat yourself, every single time you want to upload something to Git, even though it might be secure. Maybe you want to condense 3 or 4 commands into one command. So Bash scripting is really cool. So this cow here is actually an example of just really weird programs you can download on your terminal. So I run Linux. I think the majority of these programs should work on Mac. If not, I'm sure there's you can download it. But this is just cowsay. So if I just say cowsay, hi Joe. Cool. Or a better one is actually this. Oh man, so because I'm on 2 screens, it showed up on mine. It should do it the second time. It's it randomly shows up. Okay, it's only showing up on my computer, I'm sorry. But it's a really nice graphical cow. And then there's other weird stuff like this, where you can just create a matrix experience on your terminal. But the terminal in Bash scripting is way more powerful than that. Little did you know. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, I meant to not do that. I meant to do. How do you zoom in on the command? No, on terminal.
Command plus. It's just regular terminal. It should work. Oh, you're on Ubuntu.
Yeah. Super plus? Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay, great. Can you guys all see that?
Yeah.
All right. So cool. So let's move on. So these are a couple of shortcuts and tricks. They're just completely random. The first one is a brace expansion, which is I'm just going to show you something pretty cool you can do with Bash. So if let's create a folder. So Bash tech talk. Cool. So let's say I want to create a folder for every month from 2007 to 2009. This is going to be really annoying if I have to do this manually. So I'm just going to do this in one line. So I'm just going to do make dir, and then I'm going to do 2007, and then ... 2009, and then this is going to be 01 to 12. And this will just create a folder for every single month in those years. Oh, whoops, sorry, ... 12. Whoops. Okay, that should have worked. There we go. So that'll just create a folder for every month. So that's really powerful. You can probably see the applications besides just creating a folder for each month. So I'm just going to remove all of these. So that's brace expansion. So brace expansion will just basically go through each thing in the brace and run it once for each thing in there, appended to everything outside of the brace. Aliasing is really powerful, and aliasing is basically just setting a command equal to another command. So you can set an alias equal to a full-on file, and then you just type in one word and it'll run the file. So an example is if I'm sadistic and I want to change what ls means, I can do this. And this is just going to echo, hi. Oh, whoops. This is going to be, I think I have to do this. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, alias. Pfft, that would probably help. Okay, this should work. There we go. So now I no longer have the ls command on my computer, and I'm screwed. So no, there's actually a really easy way. So aliasing only works if, in that terminal session, if you want to preserve the command, you have to add it to your Bash profile, which is, you can just access that by doing, it's a dot file, Bash profile. Cool, and this is just a bunch of random commands that I've aliased, so git status, git push, etc. So. And then if you put it in that file, it'll preserve it so that even if you close your terminal session, it'll work. Okie dokes. So these are just, you can look at these later, but these are just some convenient methods that you can use to, or commands you can use to like check processes or kill processes and things like that. Cool, so bash scripting. So bash scripting is interesting. The syntax for bash is very different, is similar and different from JavaScript. When you define variables in bash, you have to preserve the white space, or you have to eliminate any white space around the equal signs. So like when you declare a variable, let me open this up in Sublime. So if I create a new file, I'm going to call this intro.sh, and the sh is just bash. So you want to start it out with a comment, which is with this, and then you just do bin bash. So that's how it knows that it's a bash file. And then I'm just going to call this intro. And this is how I declare a variable. So I'm just going to say a equals 5. So if I did this, that's an error. If I did this, that's an error. If I did this, that's an error. So it has to be this. When I declare a variable that's a string, I have to put it in quotes. So if I want to do, so if I do like this, and then when I interpolate it, I use a $sign. So that will get you what s is. So if I said this, so this should echo hi. And the thing is, you can't just run a bash program like this. You can't just like say, what do I call this, intro? Oh. Whoops. Was that in full stack? Yeah. No, it was not in full stack. Yeah, bash tech talk. Cool. So I can't just run it like this. So instead, I have to do.
You're fine. I can't read it.
Oh God, sorry. So instead, I have to do this, which will allow me to make it an executable. So I'm going to do like this, and then hi. So that's how you run a bash file. You just have to change. You have to change it so that it's executable. And there are a couple of other random things that bash imposes on your syntax, but I'm not going to get like too much into specifics. Instead, I'm just going to show you how to do some cool things with bash. So user input. So if I have this file, let's say that I want to get user input from a user, I'm just going to say, what is your name? And then I'm going to, read is how you basically take the user input and store it in a variable. So I'm going to say read name, read name, and then echo name. And this is going to ask me what my name is. And my name is Varun. So then it echoes Varun. So that's how you get user input. And then another example of something that you can do with bash is I'm just going to pull a file off of Project Gutenberg for my terminal, and I'm just going to use FTP. And you can do this. You can straight up do this all from your terminal. So let me clear this, and let me go to Sublime. So actually, let me just create a file. And this is actually a shortcut. You can just do this to create a file. The caret key. So in here, I'm just going to do, open mirrors.xmission.com, which is just a mirror that'll have Project Gutenberg. And then I'm just going to say user anonymous. Or actually, I'm just going to show you this in the terminal itself. So I'm just going to type in FTP. And now I'm in the FTP program. And so now I'm going to do mirrors.xmission.com. Cool. So now I'm connected. And now I'm going to say user. Oh, right. User anonymous. And then since it's anonymous, I can just type in whatever. OK, cool. But now it's binary mode. So the default is to read these things in binary. So I'm just going to type in ASCII. And then I can do ls. Oh, you know what it is? I have to do FTP passive. This is an issue sometimes when you're using FTP. It'll say if you're in FTP active mode, it'll deny you access. So exit FTP active. Or sorry, FTP passive. Oh, I'm still in FTP. There we go. FTP pass. That's interesting. This worked before. Anyway, the concept is basically that you can just link to Project Gutenberg, and then you can just treat the directory as like you have access to it in your terminal, and then you can just get the file, and it'll download it to your folder. So that's like an example of something you can do with Bash. So that's like really minimal. There's like a bunch of other stuff that you can do with Bash, and the syntax is interesting and annoying at times, but you can probably see the vast number of uses that it has. Bash scripting.